guys ready to go? Perfect, perfect. All right. Good evening and welcome to the Planning and Zoning meeting for the City of Smyrna. Today is October 13th, 2025 at 6 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. For those of you joining us for the first time, this meeting is conducted much like a council meeting. As such, we'll have each application will include a presentation from city staff. We'll have questions and answers between staff and the board, and then we'll have the applicant come forward, tell us a little bit about their plans, and then at that point, we'll open it for public comment. So please direct all your comments to the board, not the applicant, and come up one at a time and sign the sign-in sheet at the podium. The first item on our agenda is Z25-014. This is to be tabled to the November 10th, 2025 P&Z meeting. Can I get a motion to table this item? Phillips, second. Mr. Seagraves, in favor, please vote. Tabled 5-0. The next item on the agenda is Z25-015. This is also to be tabled November 10th, 2025 meeting. Can I get a motion to table this item? Mr. Phillips, second. Mr. Howard, glad you showed up. All in favor, please vote. That item's tabled 5-0. All right, the next item on our agenda is Z25-013. This is a public hearing for a special land use permit. This is a request to allow a modular office, fuel tank, and storage container on land lot 175. This is a 2.06 acres at 6310 Riverview Road. Arrow Waste is the applicant. Mr. Staubs, the background, please.
Good evening. I'm Joey Staubs, Planner 2 in the Community Development Department. Tonight, we are hearing a special land use permit request, C25-013. The applicant is Arrow Waste. Your recommendation will go to Mayor and Council November 17th for a final vote. The subject property is at 6310 Riverview Road. It's approximately 2 acres. It is an industrial zone property with heavy industrial zoning. The special land use permit is for a modular office and storage container. The fuel tank is listed here, but is regulated by the state and city fire marshal. The use is allowed in the heavy industrial zoning district. This is just for a temporary office and a temporary storage container on the property. The land use is industrial, and then surrounding is mixed use, future land use. I'll go briefly over the location of these structures. There's a 60 by 12 modular office. There is a up to 6,000 gallon fuel tank, and then a 40 by 8 storage container. The fuel tank setbacks required by the state fire marshal are 5 feet from any structure and 15 feet from any property line, and it's currently meeting that. Here's some images of the subject property. Community Development recommends approval of the special land use permit at 6310 Riverview Road for modular office, fuel tank, and storage container with the following conditions. 1, if approved, these structures would be allowed for a 24-month period. They would have to come back to the board to reapply after the end of those 24 months. 2, the applicant shall install a UL 2085 series fuel tank with a maximum capacity of 6,000 gallons. 3, the fuel tank shall have a minimum separation of 5 feet from any structure and a minimum separation of 15 feet from any property line. And 4, the fuel tank requires state and city fire marshal approval. Be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Stobbs? All right, at this time, we'd like to have the applicant come forward and tell us a little bit about the plan. Good evening and welcome. We just want to hear a little bit about your operation,
Sure.
the need for the storage container and the temporary office.
Okay, name is Scott Roberts with Arrow Waste. I know the property very well down there, been down there for over 25 years. The property that we're discussing, obviously is zoned heavy industrial. Parking trucks down there, we have a waste management company. Our main office is in Conley, Georgia. That's where all of our operational staff is. Sales, maintenance, all that. Property is pretty much used for parking vehicles up in this corridor of where we operate our business. We've had the state fire marshal, at the request of Joey, the state fire marshal sent a representative out there 2 weeks ago. The tank that we initially had applied for, without getting too technical, is just what they call a UL 142. It's just a double wall tank. He said, no, what you do need to have for this area next to this residential area is what they call a 285. The difference being there's a 3 to 4 inch insulation on the inside of the tank to prevent anything combustible for escaping. These are diesel tanks, they're not gasoline tanks. We sent, if it was anywhere else, they normally require, or not normally, but there's a 6-foot fence that he suggests if we want to, we can put that up. That is going to be put up there. Just a protective barrier around, complete around with gates, lockable on the weekends. That's about it. The other tank, everything that we've done on this property is temporary, as the suggestion shows. We know this land is being sought after over the last couple of years to rezone to residential. We're in the stipulation too, so we're not putting anything permanent on the property. Everything is removable.
Gotcha. Any questions for the applicant? How temporary is temporary? How long do you guys plan on being there?
Well, it really depends on when that residential is. I mean, we know the 2 years. If the zoning ever gets changed, if the landlords get the number they're looking for, we have like 6 months to get out. But right now it's zoned heavy industrial. We'll be there as long as we can run there.
Anybody else? All right, thank you for coming. All right, this is a public hearing. At this time, we'd like to ask if there's anyone in attendance that'd like to come forward and speak in favor of or opposition to the application. Again, we'd like for you to come forward one at a time, state your name and address for the record, and please sign the sign-in sheet at the podium. And hey, with a group this size, if we're going to be saying the same thing over and over again, if we have the same argument, that's perfectly fine. Just stand up, state your name and address for the record, and say I echo the comments of the guy before. That way we're not here all night listening to the same thing, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So my name is Cody Hughley, and I live at 1641 Flint River Place, Smyrna, Georgia, 30126. I'm in opposition of the fuel tank and also Arrow Waste being in our neighborhood. I'm in opposition because it could create a fire explosion, soil and water contamination, the negative property value that we're getting from our homes. If you come down Riverview Road, you'll see it's residential. Then you will see that they have this Arrow Waste that's right in the neighborhood, which is set up as industrial. And then right next to it is set up as mixed-use development. So what I'm thinking is, why would they have a heavy industrial right in between a residential and a mixed use? I've been on the property of Arrow Waste before, and they have dump trucks. They have dump trucks that are left there at night. They have large containers. Since they've been in the area, I've been noticing a lot of wildlife in the area. It's not safe. They don't bring any type of benefit of being in the neighborhood. If you go on that end of Riverview Road, you'll see all the trash, paper. You know, it looks terrible. We're trying to, they're supposed to be putting a new trail up in the neighborhood. We don't want our neighborhood looking like this. I mean, it's trash everywhere. It's just not a benefit to the neighborhood. And that's my opposition to it.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate you coming in.
Okay. And that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you, Cody. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. My name is James McKay. I'm here in opposition of Aero Waste and the permit. I live at 612 Pipevine with all of my neighbors, and again, it's amazing to see everybody here. This is extraordinary. What I want to bring to the table is that a lot of folks are new residents of the area here. I'm a lifelong resident of the area. I grew up in Mapleton and in Smyrna. Moved here in 1982. My family lives here. I was very excited about investing in the Riverview neighborhood, as is everybody else. And both the application stated temporary use, but everyone here is here for the long term and invested in the space, including the city of Smyrna and the area of Smyrna, making permits for the residential space that we all live in. So if everyone that's joined me here tonight in the city of Smyrna is interested in investing in the area as a residential zone, it should be thought of as that now, and temporary usage is not in the situation because we're residents. And I think it's silly to think of it as a mixed industrial, heavy industrial area when you see all of these people that live here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason.
And hi, neighbors. It's amazing.
Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. My name is Kemi, and I live in the neighborhood adjacent to the applicant's site. I urge you to deny the special permit to store fuel tanks so close to our home. First, considering health, gasoline contains benzene, a known carcinogen. Federal public health guidance warns that residents living near fueling sites face higher benzene exposure, which is linked to blood disorders and leukemia. That is an unacceptable risk to families and children in our neighborhood. Second, safety. EPA requires spill prevention plans for above-ground oil tanks because spills and vapors can migrate from soil, groundwater, and even into homes. We have a local reminder of what can go wrong. In 1972, in Doraville, gasoline flowed into a drainage ditch after fuel tanks were overfilled and ultimately fueled a multi-day fire, destroying lots of the surrounding properties. I acknowledge that in Doraville, the refinery was obviously different from what is being proposed here, but still, sitting fuel storage next to homes is inherently hazardous. Third, property values. Peer-reviewed economic studies show significant price discounts, often around 10 to 16% of homes near gas and fuel sites, specifically for those with underground storage, even before any incident occurs, simply due to perceived risk by buyers. Above-ground fuel storage is even more visible, so we should expect similar decrease in property value. That harms every homeowner that is here. While I cannot speak to what went on with any of the current fuel tanks housed on Riverview Road, I'd like to reiterate that in my view, Smyrna's enforcement of the state's strict fire codes and NFPA standard are the minimum we should accept. Given the adjacency to residences, the prudent course is not to squeeze any more fuel storage into a neighborhood buffer at all. The safest buffer is distance and denial of the special permit.
Hey, can I get you to state your name?
Yes.
Full name and address, please. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Kemi Ejitamain at 6216 Ocmulgee River Lane, Mableton, Georgia, 30126, or Smyrna. I guess we got to fix that too.
Yeah, yeah. No doubt, right? Thank you for that. Who's next?
I'm Pamela Barton. I live at 1700 Hyssop Boulevard, and I'm the mother of all of these beautiful young people that you see here today. I'm concerned, but I'm proud. You should be proud. Look at them. Their age, their intelligence, the price point that they've purchased to invest in this community, that should not go disregarded. We moved here with so many things not together, but we are united on this. I'm 62. I don't want to be smelling that. I got more years behind me than in front of me. For me, that's a chance that I cannot take. But these young ones have little ones. Their futures are bright. Let's keep it that way. I'm opposed.
Thank you for clarifying. Good evening and welcome.
Hello, Meredith Jackson. I'm at 6367 Appalachie Way. I'm just here to oppose it, and I stand behind all the comments that were made tonight.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jackson. Good evening and welcome.
Hello, I'm Tanya Rustin. I'm at 6363 Appalachie Way, Mapleton, Georgia 30126, Smyrna, Georgia 30126. I also am in opposition and echo the sentiments of everyone that's come before. I'd also like to call out that although this has been presented as temporary, the applicant did say, I will stay here as long as we can. So, you know, if the change to residential zoning doesn't happen in 2 years, then they're gonna be right back here, you know, getting an extension. So it all starts out temporary until it's not. So again, I am opposed and just wanted to call that out for
Thank you very
the
much.
committee.
Thank you, Ms. Rustin. Anyone else?
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome.
You guys look great in person.
Don't tell me you watch us on TV.
I do. I have to. I have to see how you
Somebody needs to
spend.
talk to
I have
her.
to see how you're going to spend my money. Yeah. Good evening. Hi, I'm Toby Bolton. I'm at 1708 Hyssop Boulevard in Smyrna. I want to bring it home and touch your heart a little bit. That gas tanker would be about a lob wedge, full swing lob wedge, over the fence from children, getting off the school bus every single day, Monday through Friday. There's families living in those apartment buildings on the same side of the street, bless you, on the opposite side of the street. There's families there. Then you go into the terrace of Riverview where I stay, plenty of families, plenty of young children. And just cross over another fence, you have a subdivision of single-family homes, plenty of children. That oil tank will pose a danger to our water system, our beautiful river that's running there that we're working on right now to open up to the public to enjoy one day, hopefully real soon. But I'm looking more to the human aspect of it, making sure that we all stay safe. I don't want to come home and see that I can't drive down my streets because there's flames blowing up. I think it's not a very smart move. I'm opposed to this, so I'm in opposition of this proposal. To put our children in harm's way, our families in harm's way, and our young people who are just starting off having families. A lot of them start off right there in those apartment buildings. And I just hope that you stand with us on this. Please stand with us on this proposal that we do not want to stand with. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome.
Hello, my name is Kenia Thompson. I live at 6415 Appalachie Way. I'm actually in one of the houses along with my husband. We actually would face, we would directly face this, so we would be one of the residents who is really like close to where this is. We're in opposition. Both of us, well, all of us, obviously, are in opposition of this for a few reasons. One being the fact that to echo but add on around the investment in this space, given where we are in the community, we're also in a space where we're trying to bring people into the community. If you notice on the cusp of where we're located, we're also kind of continuing to evolve that neighborhood. By adding this in there, you're actually going to attract residents, and we're not going to be able to see the turnover and growth in that neighborhood to really bring those residents into Smyrna. My understanding is that this part of the city was actually rezoned to be Smyrna for a reason, with the intent to bring more residents into the community. It was counterproductive to now have a detractor right next to these homes. From an environmental perspective, I just want to reemphasize this. We already in the community have concerns when it comes to proper drainage. This is not going to help that issue. When you couple that with now adding what would be the remnants of the pollutants from them being right next to us into our drainage as well. And then, I had a third point. And then lastly, I also want to just focus on the applicant themselves. We've been talking a lot as residents, but not realizing the fact that if you do your research on Airways, looking at the Better Business Bureau, as well as just reviews and things like that, there's evidence of them not emptying things in a timely manner, so things can sit, things can kind of continue to become an issue over time. Their maintenance of this has not been something that they have a stellar record of as well. And so just being thoughtful not only of the impact to us, but how they as a business also would, it's just evidence of improper managed creates more risk to the residents. So just keep that in mind as well, that it's not just for the kind of safety of the residents, but also just the proper management of them to even uphold their agreements by moving into this community. With that, I rest my time and again reiterate the opposition.
Anybody else? Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. My name is Natani Edie. I am a resident at 6050 Leatrice Street, Smyrna, Georgia, 30126. What I wanted to offer is a statement in part from the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, who we've been in touch with. And they write, as a neighbor, CRK is concerned about safety, health, and traffic impacts. They plan to speak about the threats of industrial activities near the river and speak to the water quality benefits that they are seeing as the river corridor in South Cobb is revitalized. So I stand here in opposition, but also as part of a neighborhood where obviously you see there's a lot of support. I echo the sentiments that have been shared already. Thank you so much.
Good evening and welcome.
How are you all doing? Good evening. Theo Thompson, 6415 Appalachia Way. I am in opposition. I just want to reiterate what everyone else said, but I do also want to focus on just one thing in particular, in addition to the environmental and the human element, is investment. We have a mixed-use development. You have apartments. You have homes. And you also have I think you all are working on like the trails and the parks and the waterway, the Chattahoochee River. And the whole idea, I assume, behind that is to invest in these communities. Allowing this is not investing in the community. It's also temporary, which it just sounds like it's something more convenient for the applicant and not convenient for the residents who are raising families, who live here. We're not visiting, we are here. And so I just wanted to say that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Hennett Wright, and I live at 6041 Leatra Street. I just wanted to echo what all of my neighbors said, but also call attention to the fact that the property runs pretty close to a gas transmission pipeline, which also intersects with a hazardous pipeline on the opposite side of our property, which is just concerning to me. I'm not an engineer, and I don't know, science that well, but if they are not upkeeping that fuel tanker the way they should, it just seems like a bad combination of things. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. I probably should have said it earlier. Really just want your name and the street number, the social security number and all the other stuff. You can ignore that.
I was gonna leave my social, actually, and a check and a credit card. Hi, my name is Sherry Tuck. I am 16.
Talk into the microphone.
16 Switchgrass. Not only am I a resident, I'm a realtor that sold a lot of people their homes. And I was excited to come to Riverview. Born and raised here, 5th generation. My father has been in Smyrna since 1983. To see where we're going, it breaks my heart because I influenced a lot of the sales here. I influenced a lot of the homeowners to believe that Smyrna was the place to be. I have been in the city of Atlanta my entire life. I took a chance. And I hope and I pray that my chance was not in vain for my son, my family. And I want you guys to really think about the health issues that is most important. Cancer right now is at its highest peak in our area. Don't do it to these young people. Let them have a chance to raise their families without health issues. I pray and I hope that we all can come together. I heard the young man say that their office is based in Cummings. I think that would be a great place to start. I think that would be an awesome place to start. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Devin Bernard. I'm at 1637 Flint River Place Southeast. And I am in opposition, and I echo the sentiments of the rest of my neighbors sitting behind me today. And I also want to point out what the first man indicated from City Planner about future land use. It's mixed use, future land use, and I don't know how accurate that statement is because the first slide he showed indicates that where they want to put the tank is directly behind homes, and it's surrounded by apartments, as my other neighbors have indicated. Also, what is considered heavy industrial? I think that should be challenged as well because I don't think that our area is considered heavy industrial at this current set in time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, anybody else? There you go. All right.
Hi, my name is Shayla Alcide, and I live at 1740 Hyssop Boulevard, Smyrna, Georgia. I too I oppose along with my neighbors, but I just want to bring a little human aspect to it. I originally moved from Covington, Georgia. I'm from New York originally, but I moved to Covington, Georgia, and I ran from there for the BARD situation. I am a cancer survivor, and I attracted cancer when I moved to Covington. So I don't want to live in an area where I have to run again. And the fact that the name of the company is Arrow Waste, no one wants to live next to waste. Anything waste doesn't sound good to me, so that should be taken into consideration. We already moved with all this industrial thing happening. We took our chances with that. But I did not come in here to invest in anything that's going to keep adding and adding. It's called mixed use, but doesn't mean that they have to be the predominant, the industrial part is the predominant thing. I don't want to walk in the neighborhood and have to fight with the trucks, the fuel management, and take any chances of, oops, we didn't think it was gonna leak, and oh, well, it leaked. So that's why I oppose. I oppose for me, and I oppose for my children as well.
Thank you very much, Sheila.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Johnson, 6362 Appalachia Way, Smyrna. I don't really have anything to add. My neighbors did such a fantastic job. I echo their sentiments and I oppose. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Sabrina Morris, and I'm at 1728 Hyssop Boulevard. I echo the sentiments, and I stand in opposition as well. There were a few things that I wanted to add, though. What we're doing is in juxtaposition of what we want to do when we're creating neighborhood and neighborhood spaces, right? I urge you to drive Riverview from top to bottom so you can see the things that we see each day. We've got ragged roads, because of the number of trucks and things that are coming through, including the aero waste trucks. So that's something to consider. We already need a repaving of that entire street. Consider the beautiful waterway that we're trying to spotlight. The Chattahoochee River is home to many animals, and we need that clean. We don't want anything that's going to inhibit it being beautiful, especially with the trails that are being added. I want to also add that good neighbors clean their trash. Even if if I see trash in my yard, whether I put it there or not, I pick it up because I'm a good neighbor and I care about the beauty of my home and the neighborhood. Aero Waste doesn't do that. I walk the neighborhood daily and I see trash out there, and whether it's yours or not, it's your place. You should take care of it. And we knew this was industrial when we bought over here. We saw the community, what was already there. But of course, when we're thinking residential, we're not thinking that you're gonna put more industry there to act in opposition of homes, really. And we just urge you to consider all the things, and I'd like all of you to drive down and see what we see each day and how we saw that there's so much hope and potential there, and we want that potential to grow. So please consider saying no to this measure.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? You don't have to run.
Hi, I'm Brittany Benzio. I'm at 6366 Appalachia Way, Smyrna, Georgia. I've actually lived in Smyrna since 2020. I moved down from Shrink Street right over here to get closer to the office and stay in Smyrna. I think my neighbors covered it really well. I'll just add one thing here. For us, it's not close of business, right? Like, this is gonna be here every single day, every minute, every hour, although the business doesn't operate that frequently, but we do. We're gonna be living there, we're gonna be walking, we're gonna be spending time outside, we're gonna be, enjoying the river, and so I think that should just be considered as well. So thanks for your time.
Anybody else?
Good evening. My name is Tina Gorey, 1532 Purple Coneflower Avenue. I agree with everything that my neighbor said. I'm in opposition, and I think that You can probably tell that we're not going to give up without a fight. We're such a strong community, and I feel like this is our first home together, myself and my fiance, and I feel like since we've moved here, it's been a constant battle with just everything happening, with just not getting the attention that our new area of Smyrna really deserves. So, you know, I just urge you to oppose this so that we can really enjoy where we live.
Anybody else? Good evening and welcome.
Just write my name. Okay. I see that all.
Can I get your name and address, please, for the record? It's something I have to do.
Vladimir Vujic. I came in USA when I was 50, and before I came from Kuwait. And I came to USA for more stupid reason. And what is that? I worked in Kuwait, and I saved a lot of money, and I have so much money that I could go to the country which is most expensive of the world. That is stupid, but if I have money, then it is okay when you have money. What I wanted to say, people are afraid from pollution. And I think that today technology is on the level that prevent pollution. We can build big walls, we can put big, how to say, oh, my English is not the best. Water tanks, how to say, if you don't want water to go, we can big water tanks, and technology today is on that level that we can prevent pollution. And that is what I wanted just to say, that these people who want to build, they have to prove to other people that there will not be no pollution of environment. Sorry to... My wife told me not to speak anything.
Well, I'm glad you didn't listen to her.
Because...
But you're going to be in trouble when you get home.
No, I heard for this meeting from my wife, and I'm 84 years old, and I don't have a job, and I just wanted to see what's going on around, and we came, and how I understand, all these people, they are afraid from pollution. And I say technology today is on that level that it can prevent pollution. There is only one problem. It has to be invested much more money if you want to prevent pollution. It will be whole thing much more expensive. And I'm not in that project, and I just say my opinion for someone who fell with the...
Thanks for coming out.
Okay, that's it. Have a
Thank you
good
very
time.
much. She's going to sign the sheet, but you can talk while she signs the sheet.
Hi, I'm Amanda Binks. I live at 1520 Purple Coneflower Avenue, and I just want to echo what the neighbors have said, and I am also in opposition.
Thank you very much, Amanda.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right, it's 6:39. I'm going to close the. Well, we're going to have one more.
Good evening. I am Martina Jones. I live at 6042 Lietra in Smyrna. I met my husband 10 years ago, married 8 years on Wednesday. And when we met, we were living in New York, and I had dreams of moving to Los Angeles. And that was kind of a no-go because I was in love with this man, and he had an autoimmune disease, and just the air and the environmental issues in LA would not be a good move for his health. So we moved to Atlanta. We saved our money, we moved and we bought a house in Smyrna because we heard so many good things about the area, how it would be a great investment, all the things that are to come. And so to even get the email about this waste truck moving there, it was just like, what in the world? And honestly, if that happened, we would have to figure out how to sell our place and move. So I hope that you guys oppose this and don't let it happen. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. All right, I think we've pretty much canvassed the room. I do appreciate you guys echoing your neighbors' sentiment. We're going to close the public hearing at 6:40, and then we'll move on to the next section. This, for those of you that haven't been here long, this particular neighborhood, I've been here my entire life, and Riverview was annexed in. It was almost entirely industrial. I think, in fact, it was entirely industrial. And I know you guys are focused on where we're at today and where it's going by virtue of you guys coming together collectively as a group of neighbors that clearly are passionate about your properties, as you should be. But you are, intelligent. You can articulate many good reasons why this is a bad situation, but the bad situation was created before the neighborhood. And so it just takes time to go to that next step, right? And I think you're all going to be fine however that next step goes. And I'm not swaying it either way. I'm just wanting you guys to know a little bit about the history of Riverview Road as we go to the future. All right. With that, any other comments from the board?
Clarification from Joey on a couple of things. One is that the land use, the fact the garbage trucks are there, that's not being considered tonight.
I'm going to ask him a question.
Well, that's the question, is if you could clarify whether or not the land use itself, or the actual use that they're using it for, if that's an issue. And then the fact that the fuel tank, was my understanding is the fuel tank was listed, but it really isn't for us to decide. That's actually a fire marshal and a state issue, not our issue. Could you clarify that?
Property is zoned heavy industrial. This use is allowed by right. The only issue is whether to allow a modular office and a storage container on site. The fuel tank will be regulated by the state fire marshal.
And then the third thing is it's only because it's a temporary structure. If they were building a permanent building there, a permanent maintenance garage, again, they would not be here before us tonight. That is allowed to be permanent. The reason that they're here tonight is because it's a temporary structure.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Hey, keep the comments down, please. Let Ms. O finish. Ms. O, continue your comments. Please keep your comments down, okay? Like, guys, you guys have been great the entire time. We're gonna go to a motion and we'll just let you guys leave. We're just trying to let her speak right now, okay? Okay, that's it. You had your opportunity. Enough.
All I was saying is that when you guys, I totally understand where you're coming from, and trust me, I do, even if you don't think so. When you bought those properties, that property was there, and it was zoned heavy industrial at that time. So I'm assuming that you did your due diligence when you bought those properties, and you knew and you know that that's what it is.
We've already had public comment, guys. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion on the special land use permit Z25-013. Motion?
And make a motion to approve Z25-0113.
Ms. O, motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Howard. All in favor? Approved 4-1. This will go before mayor and council. Gentlemen. November 16th, where they'll have the final say in the matter. Do appreciate you guys coming out. 17th, November 17th. All right, the last item on our agenda is approval of the minutes from the September 15th Planning and Zoning meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented? Motion, Mr. Rice. Second. All in favor? The minutes are approved 5-0. Meeting's adjourned at 7:46.
Huh?
6:46, I'm sorry, 6:46.